Hi, I'm Taylor from Teich Games here with my wife Mariah, and we're going to show you how to play Putt Peril. Putt Peril is a competitive card-based dungeon crawler for 2 to 4 players. The objective of the game is to be the hero that escapes the minigolf dungeon with the most loot. There will be 1 loot token up for grabs each hole, with 2 different paths to victory. 1, you can be the first hero to land on the loot token. Or you can be the last hero that remains inbounds on the hole. Now that you know the objective, let's begin with the game setup.
First, players will choose a hero. Each hero comes equipped with their own ability. Once you've chosen your hero, grab the golf ball component that matches the color of your hero card's border. Place your hero card face up in front of you. This area in front of each player is referred to as their bag. Shuffle the course cards and draw from the top of the deck until you find one that has a loot icon. Place all of these cards you've just drawn at the bottom of the course card deck, making sure the loot icon card is beneath all others. Then, shuffle the main deck and deal 5 cards to each player.
Now we get to begin creating the first hole. First, set the tee box in the center of the play area. Each player will roll both dice in what's referred to as a tee-off roll. Whoever wins the tee-off roll may draw and reveal the first course card by placing it on the tee box within the marked area. You may rotate this card any way you like so long as the far edge and at least one interior edge contains playable spaces. Players will then take turns in clockwise order, revealing and connecting course cards until one that has a loot icon is revealed. This marks the end of the hole, and we will only ever create 1 hole at a time. While making connections between course cards, players must ensure that each card is connected by at least 2 playable spaces. The lava is not considered a playable space. However, hazards and monsters are in fact considered playable spaces. There's a chance that you may draw a card with a loot icon on your first try, and that's okay. Once the course cards are connected, place any hazard, monster, mana, and loot tokens on the course in their marked location. Once the hole is created, the winner of the tee-off roll will be the first to place their ball on a space within the tee box, with order of play moving to their left.
Next, let's talk about taking a turn. The player that won this hole's tee-off roll will now take the first turn. On each turn, they will receive 3 action points, otherwise referred to as AP. It's up to the player how they want to spend their 3 AP by performing any of these actions. Some actions cost more AP than others. Additionally, AP may only be spent on your turn, and any AP that goes unspent during your turn will be lost.
Actions that cost 1 AP include drawing a card, playing a club or a magic card, and activating the effect of a card. To draw a card, simply take a card from the top of the main deck and place it in your hand. There is no limit to the number of cards a player can keep in their hand at any time. To play a card, choose a club or a magic card from your hand. If it's a magic card, you will place it in the discard pile. If the card is a club card, you place it in front of you, face up in your bag. When the card played has an effect, and it most likely will, check to see if there is a roll requirement in order to activate that effect. If not, then great, the effects of that card take place. However, if there is a requirement, you must first roll both dice. If the total of both dice equals or exceeds the value listed alongside the effect, then the effect takes place. Failed magic cards will still be discarded, and failed club cards will still remain in your bag. This brings us to the final 1 AP cost action, Activate. Players may attempt to activate cards that have a roll requirement within their bag. Cards may not be successfully activated more than once each turn. When a club card is placed in a player's bag from their hand, that player may immediately roll to activate that card for no AP cost. It's a free opportunity to perform the effects of that card. Next, we have the only action that costs 2 action points, the move action. When performing the move action, you may move your ball up to a number of spaces equal to the number of club cards you currently have in your bag. You may never have more than 5 club cards in your bag, including your hero's starter club. A ball may only move in a single direction throughout an action, with diagonal movement being permitted. At no point during the game may a player's ball travel over a void space where there is no course card. When a move action ends, the ball lands. If your ball lands on either a monster or another hero's ball, a bump is initiated. We will cover the rules of bumping in a moment. Finally, we have the only 3 AP cost action, the mulligan. You may perform a mulligan and discard your entire hand, then draw 5 cards.
Any of these actions may be repeated, assuming you have enough action points to perform the action. Once you've spent your action points how you see fit, your turn ends and play proceeds to the left. As a free action during your turn, you may remove a card by placing it in the discard pile, freeing up space to place another card in your bag. Let's talk about other things that can take place during your turn.
First, we have bumping. Bumping is Putt Peril's combat system that is a showdown between the involved parties. Whoever landed on the opponent has initiated the bump roll, so they will roll both dice first. A winner is determined by the highest number rolled. However, doubles are critical. If any double is rolled, even snake eyes, that immediately beats any high number roll. In the chance that both parties have rolled doubles, the highest pair wins. Whoever wins the bump roll may move their ball 1 additional space in any adjacent direction. The opponent is forced to 1 space in the opposite direction that the winning ball has just moved. However, if a monster wins the bump roll against a hero, that hero must move back 1 space in the direction they came from. Or, if the monster initiated the bump roll, the hero must move 1 space in the same direction that the monster moved.
Next, we're talking about cantrips. At any time, any player may play a cantrip card from their hand to affect any player's dice roll or move action. Some cantrips even cancel the effects of other cards, forcing them to be discarded before coming into play. Cantrips do not cost action points to play and are used in response to events happening in the game. In the specific instance of bumping another hero or a monster, cantrips may be used to affect dice rolls, but do not affect the amount of forced movement from a ball after the bump is resolved.
The last card type that we have not talked about are the quest items. These items provide a hero with long-lasting benefits and effects while the card is in their bag. Each item will have a side quest with a specific requirement that must be met in order for the hero to play the card into their bag. The moment a side quest is fulfilled, even on another player's turn, a hero may immediately place their quest item in their bag, and doing so does not cost any action points. Quest items do not count towards your total number of cards you may have in your bag. Additionally, there is no limit to the number of items you may carry in your bag.
Each hole will have its share of hazards, monsters, and mana. There are 2 types of hazards. First, the slime hazard. When a hero's ball moves into a space with a slime hazard, its movement is reduced by 1 until the ball lands. A ball that lands in a slime hazard will suffer the same penalty the next time they attempt to move. Slime hazards are destroyed when a ball moves off of or through the space. Next, we have trapdoors. When a hero's ball lands on a trapdoor hazard, they must discard half of the cards from their hand, rounded down.
Now, we've touched on the roles of monsters when we discussed bumping earlier, but we only mentioned what happens when your ball lands on a monster. Anytime your ball would move through a space with a monster, you need to initiate a bump roll, even if you have any movement remaining. That remaining movement is lost. Fonts of mana are represented on the course with crystal tokens. A hero may draw 2 cards anytime their ball lands on or moves through mana. Then the mana tokens are immediately destroyed. Lastly, we have lava marked by the bright orange spaces. All area outside of a course card is out of bounds and considered to be lava. When moving, a ball may travel over lava without penalty, but it's not without its risks. If a hero's ball lands in lava, they are immediately forced out of bounds and must discard a card from their hand, or remove a card from their bag. While a ball is out of bounds, the hero no longer has the opportunity to claim the loot for this hole. However, they may still take a turn. A hero that is out of bounds may only perform a maximum of 1 AP worth of actions during their turn. At the end of a hole, meaning a hero has claimed the loot token, all revealed course cards are discarded and the next hole is built after a new tee-off roll. Any heroes knocked out of bounds are returned to compete in the next hole. All cards in your bag and your hand will be maintained throughout the game, so don't discard them between holes. You now know everything you need to play and dive into this dungeon adventure, Putt Peril. Thanks for watching.